You are tuned in to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Now, yesterday, Showtime Championship Boxing announced their upcoming schedule, and it goes from May until September of this year. And a lot of these fights are fights that I knew were coming. Just, you know, having a boxing YouTube channel, being on the inside, knowing good people. A lot of these fights I was aware of already, but to see them officially announced is still a great thing. Big shout out to two people. Big shout out to L Boxing. He definitely be on top of things when it comes down to this type of stuff. If you're not subscribed to him, definitely go subscribe to his channel, L Boxing. Big shout out to him. And my bro, YSM Sports Media, that's my guy right there. Big shout out to him. If you're not subscribed to his channel, definitely go subscribe to him as well. But let's run down this Showtime Championship Boxing upcoming schedule. May 15th, WBC Super Bantamweight World Championship fight. Luis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I like that fight. May 29th, WBC Bantamweight World Championship. O'Bali versus Nonito Donaire. Another great fight. Another great fight. May 29th. June 19th, WBC Middleweight World Championship. Jamal Charlo versus Juan Montiel. I'm not going to lie. Jamal Charlo, it's always great to see him in the ring. But I'm not excited about this fight. I'm not excited about this fight. And that's no disrespect to Juan Montiel. Juan Montiel just going to have to prove it. He's just going to have to prove it to me. And it's not, again, it's not a disrespect to Juan Montiel, but I just think Jamal Charlo is that good. I think he's that good at 160 pounds. I wish they could have got him a better opponent, but, you know, it is what it is. I'll still be tapped in. It don't say pay-per-view next to this one, so I'll definitely be tapped in. Possibly the biggest card on Showtime on this schedule is Gervonta Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios. Showtime pay-per-view June 26th. And the undercard co-main event is going to be Erickson Lubin versus Jason Rosario. That's a huge main event and co-main event, man. I like that pay-per-view. Tank Davis moving up from 130, 140 pounds. I don't really understand it from a business perspective. But, I mean, hey, if that's the move they want him to make, then fine. But I think that's a great fight. Mario Barrios is a dog. He is a dog, man. Like, that's going to be a tough fight for Tank Davis. And Erickson Lubin and Jason Rosario, y'all all know I'm a big fan of Erickson Lubin. I'm a big fan of Erickson Lubin. I'm a big fan of Kevin Cunningham. Kevin Cunningham is one of my favorite trainers out there. And Jason Rosario, he looked great against J-Rock, and then he went out the way he did against Charlo. You know, so it depends on what Jason Rosario shows up. But that's a nice pay-per-view. That's a nice pay-per-view. July 3rd, WBA Super Featherweight Interim title fight. Chris Colbert versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. I'm not going to lie, I don't like this fight. I understand it from Chris Colbert's end. You trying to get him versus a name to try to build his name and build his profile. But at this point, like, Gamboa's getting passed around like a he getting passed around like a porno chick, man. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gamboa's not competitive. He hasn't been competitive for a while. Coming off of a serious leg injury. Didn't look good against Devin Haney. I don't think he's going to look good against Chris Colbert. I was a little disappointed Devin Haney didn't get Gamboa up out of there. And I would be disappointed if Chris Colbert didn't get Gamboa up out of there. Like, Gamboa's just a name at this point. And he's just getting passed around. But again, if Gamboa come in there and just show me, I'll retract everything I just said. But I'm just going off of what I've seen in the past couple fights from Gamboa. Like, just, he hasn't done anything to give me any confidence that he's going to be competitive, especially against a guy like Chris Colbert. I really don't like this fight, but again, they don't have pay-per-view on it, so I will be tuning in. July 17th, Junior Middleweight World Championship unification fight. Charlo versus Brian Castano. And this is probably the one fight that I'm excited about the most on this actual schedule. Whenever you can get unification, it's a beautiful thing. Charlo, to me, is the best 154 pounder in the world. Brian Castano is the second best 154 pounder in the world. And a lot of times when you had unification, the two guys that are in the unification may not necessarily be the top two guys, but I honestly think these are the top two guys at 154 pounds. And this is a great style matchup because Brian Castano, he just brings it to your front door. He brings it to your front door. He trying to come in your living room, your dining room, your kitchen, all that. And he has boxing skill on top of the pressure. Charlo was going to have to show different areas of his game in this fight. Charlo's the favorite, don't get me wrong, but this is going to be a highly competitive fight. If Brian Castano beats Charlo, like that's a huge victory. Charlo beats Brian Castano, we got to start talking about putting Charlo on the pound for pound list, like on everybody's pound for pound list. If he gets this W July 17th, man, that's the one fight I'm really looking forward to on this schedule. August 14th, WBO Bantamweight World Championship. Guillermo Rigondeaux versus John Casimero. Good fight. This is a good fight. And with Rigondeaux, this is the same Rigondeaux in terms of style. You got to get Rigondeaux out of his comfort zone. You got to be willing to take some shots against Rigo to get yours off. And I think Casimero is going to definitely do that. But this is an interesting fight. If Rigo's on top of his game, man, Rigo's hard to beat. But, you know, like any fighter, you see a little bit of decline in Rigo. Like, he's more entertaining now because he just doesn't move as much. He still moves, but just not as much. But that's a very interesting fight on August 14th. August 28th, WBC Super Middleweight Title Eliminator. David Benavidez versus Jose Uzcategui. And we all know Jose Uzcategui, he lost his belt to Caleb Plant. And he pretty much got dominated in that fight. David Benavidez, my homie Chris G, that's his favorite fighter. Big shout out to my bro Chris G. But David Benavidez, he's one of the best in the game. Like, he's one of the best in the game. And I think he has the ability to beat anybody at 168 pounds. He's probably a 175 guy, you know, walking around at 168, you know, fighting at 168. But that's a good fight as well. I expect Benavidez to stop Uzcategui, but I think it's going to be a fun fight while it lasts. And September 11th, Philly boy Stephen Fulton Jr. will be facing the winner of Luis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa. And man, Fulton versus Nery or Figueroa, that's a great fight either way. To be honest with you, I like Fulton versus either one of them. And I know, y'all gonna be like, oh, you riding out for the Philly guy? Yeah, I am riding out for the Philly guy. So what? So what? I think Fulton beats Nery. I think he beats Brandon Figueroa. I think he beats Figueroa easier than Nery. But Fulton's that guy. Fulton is that guy at super bantamweight. He's gonna be hard to beat. Period. But September 11th, barring any injuries or anything like that, any setbacks, cool boy Steph Fulton Jr. is going to be facing the winner of Luis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa. So that's a nice schedule for Showtime. That's a nice schedule, and it's saying a lot because I know at one point, like a year and a half ago, Showtime cards was garbage. Showtime's cards was garbage. They was losing all their big guys and their big fights to Fox. And now it's time for Fox to announce their schedule. You know what I'm saying? It's time for Fox to announce their schedule now to double up on what Showtime is doing. But You know, when you're a boxing fan, you're a boxing guy, you have a boxing channel, like any network that's putting on consistent fights, putting on nice cards, I'm a fan of it. So I'm very happy with what Showtime has announced. Happy that PBC is putting all this together. Al Heyman is putting all this together. And just because one network is doing their thing doesn't mean that another network is not doing anything. You know, I'm a fan of Top Rank as well. I'm a fan of Bob Arum and ESPN and what they're doing. I'm a fan of Eddie Hearn. I'm a fan of The Zone and what they're doing. Whoever got a good card on, that's the network I'm supporting. You know what I'm saying? If you got a garbage card, I ain't really fucking with it. You know what I mean? But if you got a nice card, I'm with it. I'm with it 100%, man. But big shout out to Showtime Championship Boxing. Big shout out to PBC and Al Heyman for putting this nice schedule together. And that's not even counting the undercard fights that haven't been announced yet. So hopefully these cards have good undercards, and it'll really, you know, put the bow around this Showtime Championship Boxing present they done dropped on us yesterday. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy, support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.